What school won't tell you. Lesson 7. Life, Death, Rebirth. Hi guys, in our lesson 5 we have mentioned that human beings are subject to a constant cycle of birth, life, death and rebirth, up to the point when the particle of creation energy animating them no longer requires a physical body and the human existence becomes part of the fine fluido. Today we want to find out the truth about reincarnation or rebirth, because the truth differs vastly from today's commonplace knowledge and the teachings by esoterics and religions like, for example, Buddhism. Death represents a subject that the human society, with all its prejudices, with its adoration of youth and orientation towards technology, progress and materialism, simply ignores, completely disregards and even denies. It almost seems as if humans view death as nothing else but yet another disease which they must simply overcome one day. The majority of people on Earth live their lives without ever contemplating the concept of death, so the shock is all the more intense when the Grim Reaper knocks on the door one day and demands his toe. Religions are very much to blame because they keep the majority of people on Earth under the impression that if they devotedly serve their cult, they will one day be able to spend a carefree existence on some cloud next to some god, Allah, Shiva or other fantasy creatures in all eternity. An illogicality which cannot be any dumber, and which every faithful Earth human living in the 21st century should actually be deeply ashamed of. For these gods and idols, enlightened ones and ascended ones, etc., represent nothing but a demented fantasy, because they simply do not exist and have never existed before. This erroneous belief propagated by religions, sects and cults has caused people to adopt a devil-may-care attitude and not give a damn about the planet's state once they're not around anymore. As long as they can still lead a life in luxury, because what the heck, once they're dead, they'll sit next to their dear God and laugh their heads off, while the survivors must suffer on an overpopulated and therefore dying planet. But it is not that easy, for every single life form is without exception subject to a cycle of life, death and rebirth, and it will eventually inherit the previously maltreated, hostile planet, the condition of which said life form is responsible for. At our present time, people generally assume that rebirth or reincarnation refers to human beings being reborn with the same personality after their deaths and subsequent time on the other side. However, this is a grave mistake and reflects a fundamental false doctrine, as it has been spread in religious and also in sectarian and partly philosophical form for several thousands of years. The truth regarding the rebirth is in fact far from the nonsense that is being propagated by today's erroneous doctrines. Basically, the following needs to be understood. When the physical body dies, then the creation energetic overall consciousness block migrates into an otherworldly area, which is called realm of death or sphere or level of death. While the material overall consciousness block simply dissolves immediately after one's passing. In this realm of the beyond, the immaterial overall consciousness block processes everything that has not yet been mastered and processed in the realm of the material physical life. Once everything unprocessed has eventually been processed and mastered by the overall consciousness block, which could require a considerable amount of time, then the creation energetic overall consciousness block transforms in its strength and energy into a completely neutral form, thus erasing the personality from the previous material life. Once this neutrality is attained, it then forms the basis for a completely new personality which relates in no way to the old one. When this new personality, that is, the new consciousness block, has been formed, then it is time for the overall consciousness block to incarnate again into a material human body, but as a new personality, that is, a consciousness form which is born for the first time. So what happens is a new birth of a new consciousness, a new personality. This new personality, however, will pass with the overall consciousness block into the realm of the beyond yet again, once the new body dies. There the consciousness form or personality will process everything unprocessed and then transform into a neutral force and energy, which again will spawn a new personality, that is, a consciousness form, which then is able to enter in due time into an embryo again. This fact illustrates that when it comes to personality, that is consciousness form, there is no rebirth. A rebirth applies merely to the for all great time imperishable particle of creation energy. The creation energy enlivening the human being is a creational power and energy, and therefore a part piece of the creation itself, which however must be seen and understood as power and energy creation of the creation. It is an independently evolving power and energy form of creation energetic nature, which has been created by the creation in order to evolve in love, knowledge, and wisdom, etc., which means that the creation energy form grows stronger and more powerful in order to someday merge and become one with the creation itself, thus allowing her to evolve as well. So when it is stated that the human being is animated by a particle of creation energy, it does not mean that it is a particle of the creation itself, but a globule of power and energy created by the creation, which in itself forms the human creation energy form and evolves independently through the evolution of the human material consciousness. The creation energy form does not change into another form, force or energy, as this is the case with the overall consciousness block, which is neutralized by the discarding and dissolving of the old personality and serves as a basis for a new personality or consciousness form. The creation energy form always remains the same, although it evolves, increases its power, becomes more energetic, more high frequency, and more knowing and wise. And it is this creation energy form which grows in itself, in its power and energy, but remains constant in its form, which after its time in the beyond on a purely creation energetic level is reborn again into a human material body, but only together with the overall consciousness block, which creates a new personality or consciousness form by a total transformation and neutralization of its power and energy time and again. In this regard, it is to be noted that a newly formed personality or consciousness form never repeats itself. So the same personality never exists twice, not even when it comes to the abundance of deaths and transformations or rebirths one has to accomplish in physical form throughout the total evolution of about 40 to 60 million years. But what does this mean for human beings? Our worldly, material life starts with the entry of the particle of the creation energy with the new personality that is consciousness form into the human embryo on the 21st day of its growth. The entry of this creation energy form initiates the embryo's heartbeat, and it can now be referred to a conscious, living life form. The creation energy, that is the creation energy form, is an immortal factor in design, the being of the creation, which means it can only travel from one level to another, so from the level of the material existence of the human body into the level of the creation energetic realm of death. The switch from the realm of the beyond into a material human body on the 21st day after the conception is called rebirth, which is then followed after 9 months by the actual birth, while the switch from the human material body into the realm of the beyond is called dying or death. The rebirth therefore refers to an already existing and ongoing process, which is also known as being born again. When a creation energy globule transforms or enters into a human body for the first time, it does not come into existence in the actual sense, because this already occurred ages ago. With the initial birth in a human body, the creation energy ball begins as a so-called new spirit, a new form of its existence. However, it does not embody itself through the material human body, but forms its life impulse. As a creation energy form in itself, it remains in its own creation energetic realm, untouchable to the human being in any way. The creation energetic form sits in the human brain, from where the creation energetic energy spreads filigree-like through every fiber and cell of the body. The actual seat of the spirit, which is really called creation energy form and is a particle of the general creation energy, is called collicular superior, paired node or roof of the midbrain. Upon moving into a human embryo on the 21st day after conception, the creation energy form also pulls the creation energetic overall consciousness block along, which spends its disembodied time in an otherworldly realm appropriate to it, as it creates a completely new personality right up until the actual birth. Normally, when there is no overpopulation and a creation energy form is not prematurely torn from the otherworldly realm to enliven a new evolving human being, everything from the previous life, which still needs processing, as well as the old ego, the old personality or consciousness form, is dissolved and discarded in the otherworldly realm, and a completely new ego or personality is created. If due to overpopulation, a creation energy form is prematurely released from the otherworldly realm in order to animate a new human life form on the 21st day after conception, then the creation energetic overall consciousness block has only what little time remains until the actual birth of the human being to create a completely new ego, that is, personality. This means that any overpopulation causes stagnation of the people, because the creation energy form and the creation energetic overall consciousness block did not have enough time to transform all experiences, all knowledge and all cognitions, as well as all of the wisdom into the power required for a new earth life. This stagnation caused by overpopulation affects not merely the evolution of the intelligentum and of rationality and intellect, but also the psychical, mental and physical health, which with growing overpopulation becomes more and more vulnerable and weaker, both in individuals as well as in the overall population. This effect severely restrains the progress of humanity, if not completely prevents it, and possibly even reverses it. The material overall consciousness block, which forms the ego, that is, the personality, the I, the old as well as in the new form, is not being reborn as it moves with the creation energy form once again into a human body. In fact, a new transmission or a new birth occurs for the material overall consciousness block during every such process, because not the old personality which is reborn, but it is a new ego, a new I, or a new personality with the original, always identical creation energy form that passes into the body of a human being. This ensures that the human's progress in terms of love, freedom, knowledge, and wisdom in the first place, because only a new ego or a new personality, a new I, will create new ideas, views, opinions, cognitions, perceptions, and inventions, etc. But if an old personality of a previous life were to be reborn, then there'd be nothing new in this regard, and evolution would stagnate. The old would be adhered to, and the new would have no chance to manifest and unfold. This means that by the constant new birth of the creation energetic overall consciousness block in connection with the rebirth of the creation energy, that is the creation energy form of humans, a new ego or consciousness arises, which is called human consciousness, and which is conscious of itself, and is creatively and evolutionarily active. It is evident from the aforementioned that the newly created personality with the material overall consciousness block and the particle of creation energy can enter both a male and a female embryo. This means that the subsequent personality can be either male or female, depending on the evolution of the embryo. It is the evolution of the particle of creation energy that matters. Incarnations do not occur within groups of people and cultures in which the previous personality has lived before, nor within a certain skin color or race, but the creation energy form moves with the new material overall consciousness block into that embryo, which on the 21st day has prospered to the point that it needs the life impulses of the creation energy form for further development, no matter where this new life has been conceived. So every creation energy form with its new overall consciousness block can incarnate into any culture as well as into any social class, while the status and the achievements of the previous personality remains irrelevant. When it comes to evolution, the sole decisive factor is what humans learn during their lives and what social qualities they have acquired, to what extent they are able to control and overcome their negative urges, and how much life force they build up. It is therefore inconsequential if a personality incarnates into a highly educated family or into a native tribe somewhere in the rainforest, because the more powerful the creation energy form is, the better the new personality can assert itself and master its life, even if obstacles and difficulties should arise. The otherworldly realm is strictly planet-bound, which is why the question on which planet one's creation energy form will be reborn is a moot point. If a human being dies on Earth, his or her creation energy form will also reincarnate on Earth and not on Era or other planets inhabited by human beings. If one wants to switch planets, they must do so during their lifetime by technical means, and then also pass away on the new planet, so that their respective creation energy form can enter into the appropriate realm of the beyond. So all of this proves those sectarian false teachings which lie about ascended beings and rebirths and strange worlds wrong. We Earth people have but our Earth, so we'd be well advised to carefully cherish it instead of drowning it in unlimited overpopulation. What is really important in the cycle of birth, life, death and rebirth is the level of evolution of the creation energy form, which usually grows stronger and stronger from incarnation to incarnation. The understanding, the knowledge, the freedom of thinking, the culture of a person on a personal level, as well as in relation to society, are merely relevant for the present lives of people, inasmuch as that they learn from it, expand their knowledge, and build themselves up as true human beings in terms of understanding, tolerance, and humanity. If a creation energy form has returned to the otherworldly realm once a human has passed, then the overall consciousness block processes the previous life and transforms everything learned, all acquired knowledge and all wisdom resulting from it into pure energy that is strength, through which the creation energy form evolves and grows stronger. Out of this newly gained strength, the foundation for the new overall consciousness block is formed, which then, after the renewed incarnation, forms the new personality. If a new human life form is conceived under normal circumstances, which means only if no overpopulation prevails, then the creation energy form that has been on the other side the longest and has completed the foundation for a new overall consciousness block incarnates out of the creation energy form pool. With increasing overpopulation, creation energy forms are being recalled from the other realm more and more chaotically. That means, in the absence of mature or fully prepared forms, also immature and little or not at all prepared creation energy forms are called upon, forms which are not yet able to completely build up the basis for their new overall consciousness block, which then result in significant effects on the new personality. They then become life unstable in terms of their mental, psychical intelligence and physical health, because the creation energy forms lack the power or insufficient power has been built up in order to lead a stable and healthy life. The average level of development or civilization of a nation has no influence on the place of incarnation of a creation energy form. An average Swiss person or his or her creation energy form who is accustomed to freedom of speech, democracy, security, prosperity and pluralism can reincarnate just as well in Arabia as in any other country, and it does not matter if a religion strongly impacts the everyday lives of its citizens or not. Even though there is a general rule, the more religious a country is, the more averse to progress and less developed it is in terms of civilization and technology. Yet this fact still has not the slightest impact on the reincarnation of a creation energy form and its overall consciousness block. People on Earth must realize that their present physical existence on Earth of 80, 90, or maybe 100 years represent a minimum moment in the approximately 40 to 60 million years lasting cycle of evolution, throughout which the particle of creation energy requires a physical body, which means that the material is subject to decay, while the creation energetic endures and grows throughout innumerable incarnations more and more, increases in strength, and in doing so continuously enriches the creation in its evolution. Every life form has a responsibility towards itself, but also towards its fellow human beings, the fauna and flora, the entire planet, as well as the creation, to lead a valuable existence in love, harmony, knowledge and wisdom, to outshine its ego and accumulate understanding and reason in itself, and thus to master a civilized evolutionary life. In death, no god, no devil or any other demons or savior figures will be waiting, neither any paradise or other planets to escape to. The religion-induced and egotistic, behind me the deluge thinking must finally come to an end and needs to be surmounted. People must build up reason and understanding and show responsibility, because they will inevitably have to bear the consequences of their actions themselves sooner or later, according to the creational natural law of cause and effect, be it in this life or as a subsequent new personality. You can find more valuable information on this subject in Billy's book Rebirth, Life, Dying, Death and Sorrow, as well as in his numerous other writings, and of course in the Creation Energy Teachings. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting topics and hit the bell if you want to be informed about our latest releases. See you soon when we'll be back with lots of interesting facts, what school won't tell you.